everyone. Thank you very much for joining the Concert Stories podcast, the inaugural episode. Ta-da! I'm joined by my partner in crime, my concert buddy from a long time ago, Giggles. Say hello, Giggles.
What's up?
What's up? So, yes. So this is our inaugural first episode, and people are probably wondering, what in the world are these two going to talk about? Well, of course, we're going to talk about concert stories. So, Giggles, could you just tell a little bit about yourself to let the folks know at home who you are and why you're into concerts?
Well, I started taking pictures of Eric Church back in the early 2000s, and I got into concert photography and started taking pictures of different bands, and eventually turned into alternative rock
Yeah,
and kind of country on the side,
that's
and
a good thing.
um, just kind of putting things together, pictures, videos, doing different photo shoots and things along the way. Yeah.
So, yes, I have to say that Nicole, well, she's also known as Giggles. You'll hear me refer to her as Nicole, just to let you all know that off the bat, just because I call her Nicole. She has wonderful concert photography that we're going to highlight throughout these episodes. So if you want to see the visuals behind these stories, please make sure you check out our YouTube channel, because we hope by the end of the week when we release an episode to have some beautiful concert photography. Now, my name is Kiffy, and I am, I would just say, and I don't know, when it comes to terms of concerts, I'm not a groupie, I would say, but I absolutely love concerts. They're my lifeline. I've always had a concert on the books for years, that always something for me to look forward to. It's just a place for me to go and relax. And music is just such a connecting force in our world. And for me, I met Nicole through our career, but whenever I found out that she loved concerts and I started going to concerts with her, we became instant concert buddies. So we have been to, I don't know, what do you think? Over 100 concerts together, if not more.
Yeah, probably.
I just, I would venture to say like 300.
Betty road trips.
Oh yes, many road trips. Because you know how it is, folks. Once you find a band you like, you make that connection with that band. You're like, we got to go see them again. I mean, we've done that multiple times. Oh my gosh, I can't even be. What was it? The 100 Monkeys. We went to like Nashville, Atlanta, of course, Charlotte. Gosh, you went to Michigan to see them too.
Yeah, well,
Oh my
I
gosh.
was home for the summer, so.
Yeah. So that's just one example of, we got hooked and we had to ride the train and keep on following them around and tour. So, but that's definitely one of those things where we'll tell a lot of stories in the future. And of course, for the introduction episode, we don't want to give everything away right now.
Yes.
But yeah. So, Giggles, can you tell me, why do you love concerts?
Just the atmosphere and getting to hear the music that you've heard on the radio and hear it live and see the action and how they interact with the crowds, and it's just a connection. I don't know. It's just something that kind of attacks you. Once it attacks you, you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. It's almost like a drug.
Exactly. And, before we even began thinking about starting this podcast, that's one thing, I follow many different like concert type, I guess you would say, social media sites. And one of them is that Concert Weirdos, and everything they post, I can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, getting ready to buy tickets for the band. I mean, what do we call that? We don't have a name for it. We just say, oh God, I'm nervous. It's like the anticipation even begins months, years prior to a concert for most of these concerts that we go to. We have to get in line in the virtual queue, and that excitement builds, but then it's the nerve, and oh my gosh, just it's the build up that
Yeah.
begins weeks, months, years before the concert even begins. I mean, gosh, we don't want to say the C word, but since COVID, I think I have tickets I bought in 2019 that I haven't even been to the show yet.
I don't even have any. I think I had to give them up. I was supposed to go see AGR or AJR. I can't talk.
AJR, is that a new band? Oh my
I had to
gosh.
give those up, and I see they're coming back again now, and I don't know.
Well,
Depends on where it is.
oh yeah, but side note about AJR, they actually were going to be, just a side note, they were going to be at a smaller venue here in Charlotte, where I'm from, and now they're going to go to the larger venue, the PNC
Oh yeah.
Pavilion.
I can
So,
see
as my husband would say, he's like, "Gosh, they've gotten big." I'm like, "You think?"
that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we
Yep.
have a story about them.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we have a good story for all of you about that. That was probably the one where we realized, that concert was the one we realized that we're really old. Well, you know what? We just have to tell the folks that story.
Yes.
So, just an example of one of the concert stories we have, and this is kind of lame, but I remember Nicole getting very excited about this band coming to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, AJR. And I had heard what was their song that was really popular prior to the Bang 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 song that gets stuck in your head?
Yeah.
Everybody at home's yelling at us right now.
I know.
It's the one where they're like, it has like a trumpet, which a lot of their songs have a trumpet in it. But
You have
anyway,
to look it up.
I'll have to look it up. We'll fix this, y'all. But anyway, so I remember hearing that song and saying, "Yeah, they're pretty good. I'll go." And Nicole's like, "I'm not even gonna go to the race." Because this concert was going to be prior to the race. And I remember Nicole saying, "I'm just going to go to the concert, take some pictures." Like, okay, I'll go, because my parents were already going to the race. It was the All-Star race, wasn't it? The All-Star race?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we're real good at remembering things.
It was
We
either
remember
the All-Star race or the 600. I don't remember exactly which one.
Yeah, it was one of those big races. Anywho. And so I remember we were probably that week in North Carolina, like in the 80s. And I remember Nicole telling me, "Look at the forecast for Saturday." And I can't remember, but it was in the upper 90s. And I remember walking to the venue, or walking to the field that the stage was set up. It was just a chore in itself.
Yeah.
But you can tell what happened from there. Oh my gosh.
We walked from turn 4 all the way to turn 2.
Yes, I think.
On a, what is it, a mile and a half track? On halfway.
And I remember the grass was hard and crusty, and it had been burned.
Yeah, and so did we.
We had front row, everybody. We had front row. But we're so old and decrepit. We couldn't take it anymore because it was so hot. We gave up front row.
And went to find some sort of shelter.
I think you drank, 4 waters in like 10 minutes?
I think so, yeah. It was awful.
Yes, but yes, I remember walking, looking for, there was no shade. No. The only shade was behind the stage where we could not go.
Yeah.
And they had us blocked off. And I just remember going, "I'm old." And I remember sweat pouring down my face and my back. Oh my gosh. You know,
it was awful.
When you're just standing and sweat's pouring off of you, you know that's a bad thing. But AJR was phenomenal. They were wonderful. And I kept remembering, and forgive me because I don't know his name, the little guy with the hat. I just remember, I'm like, how are you wearing that winter hat? It's 97 degrees.
It's Jack, right? Yeah, Jack.
Is his name Jack? Oh, is it AJR? Because it's like their names or something.
Yeah.
We're real knowledgesorted about our bands we go to see. Sorry. Hey, we like the music.
You forgot the best part, though.
What's the best part?
We resorted to a golf cart with a nice little.
I remember this. Yes. I think we begged the lady. I didn't even think we asked her. I don't think we went to say, "Hey," I was like, please, can we lay underneath your golf cart?" And she said, "Sure, why not?" And she could care less about the band. You could tell she drove her golf cart up to watch the concert way back in the back of the crunchy field. And I remember sitting on that hard grass going, "Oh, I can finally breathe," because we had a little bit of shade. Oh my gosh. But it was a pretty good concert, other than almost dying.
Yeah, I know.
And that's not the first time we've had really weird experiences at concerts, obviously. But man, that was up there with when I saw Barenaked Ladies in Charleston. And I know
Oh
you did
God.
not attend that. Oh my gosh. That one I think was over 100. And that's the concert that the Barenaked Ladies wore their tennis whites.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that? I'll have to put a picture in here for that. But that concert was over like 100, and yet again. And I can remember, side note, I'm not going to go on about this one because we'll tell that story another time. I remember wearing a banana clip to that because it was so hot. I had my hair pulled up in a banana clip. And somebody's like, oh my God, she thinks she's living back in the 80s. I'm like, leave my banana clip alone. But yeah, I'll have to insert pictures of that show right here. And we'll talk more about it another time, more than likely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's just one example. Hey, and you know what? On a future episode, we have to tell the story of the first time we met some of our bands.
Oh dear Lord, I don't know.
Okay. She's like, I'm not all for that. You all don't get to hear all that. Sorry. No. All right. So pretty much we've given you an example of one of our concert stories. And that was pretty, like I said, pretty much the time we learned that we're really old.
Yeah.
But we still kind of try to go along with everything. But the heat, it was whoo. All right.
I think I'd rather freeze than sweat to death.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And a lot of people don't go that way.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I would rather, I think I've been what's the coldest you've ever been at a concert?
Shoot, I'm trying to think.
I know I've been really cold. Where were we? You and I were somewhere where it was so cold that we just said we're just going to leave. I can't remember which concert, but I know I've been to concerts where I think it's been like,
I don't remember.
I know a race we left one time because it was so cold.
Yeah,
we cheat on concerts and go to races sometimes. Sorry, y'all.
There was an Eric Church concert at the racetrack that one time. It was freezing.
Yeah,
I couldn't feel my fingertips taking pictures anymore.
just use your fingers and just push the button. Just push the button.
You just hope and pray that you click something.
Your camera was so cold it froze.
It probably. I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you could have taken an icicle and put it in front of your lens. That would have been real cool.
I could have. I could be like,
because that's the cool thing to do now is to do these prisms. Ooh, prisms.
Oh,
sorry,
Lord.
that's another concert photography talk another time.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, thinking back, I don't even know. I'd have to really think about that one. Maybe that'll be another segment. What's the hottest we've been? Well, we were told everybody. That's one of the hottest, like I said. So I guess we could talk about, just to wrap things up here, what is the last concert that you have attended? I think it's the same as mine.
The last one was American Authors and Magic Giant.
Yeah.
Public the band.
Oh, you're so good. You remember the opener.
Yes.
I remember them. I didn't remember their name, but I remember it was right in January of 2020, and we had one of those tickets, and we got the tickets. It was at the Underground in Charlotte. Beautiful venue. I mean, if you all have ever been to Charlotte, at the NC Music Factory, whatever the name of it now, is it Access or something? Yet again, we're real knowledgeable about the places and the people we see.
We know the original names. We don't know what happens to the
I just like calling it the NC Music. Yeah, I just like calling it the NC Music Factory.
It's kind of like the DT Energy in Michigan here. I keep calling it Pine Knob. So,
well, isn't that what everybody calls it?
Yeah, pretty much, because that's what it was.
Isn't it off exit 69 or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Big Beaver Run Road or something. Big Beaver.
Stashabaw, somewhere down there.
Well, that's a Michigander thing right there. If I've ever heard. So, all right. So anyway. Yeah, the last concert though, getting back on track, for sure. The last concert, oh my gosh. I remember we've loved American Authors since their very first song, of course. But I think we heard them on Alt Nation way before everybody else did, not being like we're cool kids or anything. But I remember we went to see a silent film at the Fillmore in Charlotte at the NC Music Factory, whatever it's called now. And I remember we walked up to American Authors and we said to them, hey, we've heard you on the radio on Alt Nation. You guys are great. And remember how so sweet and innocent they were?
Yeah, they were.
And you remember
they were all excited because I think, wasn't it something happened with their song on the radio? I don't remember what the deal was. I don't know if they had played it or something here I don't remember what the deal was, but they were all excited about being on Alt Nation, and the only thing that they had some kind of issue with the first show. Wasn't there something with the show? They were supposed to go on at a certain time, and
Wasn't it the
they
banjo?
changed it or something, made them
Yeah,
go on early.
and the banjo player wasn't there for some reason.
Yeah.
Something. Or was that in Michigan? That was another story. We're real great at telling stories. Can't you tell? We're on a podcast. Woo! No, but with all seriousness, one thing about American authors, we've known them from the start. One thing that's really awesome is that they remember that years later. They remember that. I'm like, hey, I remember talking to you guys at the Fillmore in Charlotte. Yeah, that's one of our first shows. I'm like, yeah. And he was like remembering, not necessarily us, but he remembered the experience. So that was really cool but then we saw them, of course, at the Underground years later in 2020. But I remember at that concert being blown away by Magic Giant.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, since January 2020, I have had their first album on repeat. Like, every couple of months I'll pull it back up again and just play it continuously.
Yeah.
It's just, they have so much energy. And I mean, we were of course in the front. I mean, Nicole and I have the hardest time not being in the front. We'll talk about that another time, why being in the front is the best place to be. But we were in the front, and I remember we were by speakers and it was loud, but oh my gosh. I mean, American authors, they did awesome. But the way that they did the concert, right? They went back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so neat. And just the way that American authors would come out and do some songs, and then they go back, and then Magic Giant would come out. I just love that format. I thought that was amazing.
And then they pulled everything out into the crowd. And played like 2 or 3 songs.
Oh,
with everybody surrounding them.
Yes. So. Oh my gosh. That's just, I was blown away by them. And sometimes like that happens with us, and we'll talk about that at later episodes too. But there are times we go in with, of course, no expectations whatsoever, and we leave being blown away. And I think for you and I, one of the biggest bands that's happened to both of us at the exact same time, the Moth and the Flame.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, I want to see them again so bad. So we'll have to talk about it.
They actually have a show, but it's in Utah.
Hey, there's a thing called airplanes. You can put a mask on. Get in the airplane. Let's go. This is the kind of thing people would think we're joking, but we're kind of not. Because we've done things like this before. Hey, Imagine Dragons is going to be in Orlando. I love Disney World. You want to go? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just get in a plane and go, or let's go drive down. Let's go.
Exactly.
So, I think
that's how that went that time. Oh, you're going to Disney? You mind if I tag along?
Let's go. Come on, get in the car. One thing about Nicole and I, you'll have to really learn this real fast, is I say things that are kind of jokey, and I don't mean any ill will, but I'll say, I'm going to throw you in the car. It doesn't mean I'm going to literally throw her in the car. It just means that she's going to go in the car. And I have a phone call. So how real world is that?
That's all right.
But
anyway, I had a text message earlier, so hopefully it doesn't go on here.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yes. So anyway, so I think that everyone pretty much heard some interesting stories. Hopefully, I hope that you will continue to listen to us as we work our way through how to make this podcast. But just to end up the episode, so Nicole, who do you love to see the most, and who have you seen the most?
Let's see. Imagine Dragons is probably one of the top ones to see live. I've been to Eric Church more times than I can count.
I know. She has me beat there, everybody.
I've been to, let's see, 2018 was 80 shows.
Holy moly. But that's amazing, though.
But, I mean, a lot of that was when I actually worked for him in the beginning, so.
Right, and just taking pictures and things. And that was like the late 2000s, pretty much, right?
Yeah, like 2006.
And like I think you were at his very first show, were you not?
Yeah, I was. In March of 2006, he played at Central Michigan University. He opened for Dierks Bentley.
Oh, wow.
And nobody knew who he was.
Except for Nicole.
So he tried to get on stage, and people had no clue that he was the opening act, and they almost didn't let him on stage.
Gosh, I don't think you've ever told me that.
Yeah. So
that is too good, man. He tried to get on stage like, sorry, sir.
Yeah,
sorry,
the
sir.
security stopped him. They're like, he's basically sitting there saying, that's my band up there. No one's starting the first song. It's me that's supposed to be up there singing.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I mean, and you think about how he is now. Did he not just sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he did.
Or was that him? Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he did in 2018, the last time I saw him, he played in front of 25,000 people in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Wow. In a mud pit. Was that what the mud pit was?
Oh, yeah. That was the mud mess.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
There's some crazy storms in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah, and you were actually on tour with another country music artist that time, right? With photography?
Yeah, I was there with Jeremy McComb, and I had emailed the friend of mine, see if I could get tickets to see them, since I didn't know they were there till we got there. So I had talked to a friend of mine in the band, and we started talking, and ended up that we all met up and got to see the show, and it was interesting.
In the mud pit.
Yes. I
had flip-flops. You had flip-flops on. Oh my God.
I would not recommend going to Cheyenne, Wyoming after a giant storm in your flip-flops, because it turns into a giant mud pit.
This is definitely true. Oh my gosh. So you can say, I've been in the heat, I've been in the rain, I've been in the snow. I think we have seen a concert in the snow. Where was that? Oh my gosh. See, we're just going to have to go back and look through pictures. I remember being in snow at a concert one time.
I think it was the racetrack, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember who it was, though. I just remember snow. I'm like,
I remember it snowed, I think, when I went to see Eric.
Yeah, I just remember looking at you and saying, hey, Nicole, it's snowing. But I know of many people that have been to, like, Colorado to see concerts, and it snowed on them. I mean, like, inches. So I know this is not, like, an uncommon thing, but still, it's kind of funny. You're rocking out at a concert, and it's, like, below zero, and here comes the snow. I mean, who cares? Just keep rocking out, right?
Like I said, I'd rather be cold than hot. Give me snow.
This is true. I think I'm like, we agreed. We agree on that for sure. So yeah, pretty much to end up the episode, I'll just tell you all that my favorite people to see, and this is going to get a lot of laughs from people, but my favorite band is Barenaked Ladies, and I just can't explain why, other than I love their shows. They are amazing musicians. And of course, people say, don't you get bored going to the same show over and over again? No, because every show is different.
Yeah.
There's not one. I mean, Nicole has been with me for years going to Barenaked Ladies shows, because of course I drag her along. So, I mean, she's been to her fair share of shows, and you can agree with that, right? They're different every show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same songs.
Yeah, they switch it up all the time.
All the time. And that's one thing I love about them, is that, of course, the ad-libbing, and, just the fact that I love them and I can't help it. There's that connection with the fans, and that connection with the being there and experiencing the music.
Yeah.
And that's the people I like to see the most. But I mean, I'm really on a 21 Pilot kick right now too. And 21 Pilots. Let me say the plural. You can tell I'm old. And I should also put 21 with a number, pilots, and see what the young kids get really mad at me. But I always
shorthand.
What did you say?
I said shorthand. 21.
21 Pilots.
Not 20.
I am an old fart. But anywho, with those guys, I was just intrigued by them because my husband loved Tearing My Heart. And I'd come to find out that they're from Columbus, Ohio, where I grew up. So I'm like, dude, these guys are from Columbus, Ohio. That's awesome. That's like, I grew up in Circleville. I'm like, oh my God, let me listen to them more. And I'm like, let's go see a show. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, Nicole, come see a show with me. So, I mean,
I've been to what, 3 now?
I think so. Yeah, we even drove to Greenville, South Carolina to see them, which is not too far, but Yeah, we've seen them. I've seen them like over 5 or 6 times, I think now. But I'm just like their sets and their special effects. Excuse me, I just got choked up. Oh, their special effects are just amazing, and their lighting rigs and just the way they put Josh Dunn up in the air on that drum kit. Just
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm like, wow, like
They're fun to take pictures of.
oh yeah, they're so much fun. That confetti they throw up in the air at the end of their shows
Yeah.
and things. It's just so much fun. We'll have to put some insert picture here. So yeah, so pretty much hopefully you all got a feel for who we are and what we're all about. And I do apologize for the craziness, but this is how we are. Pretty much two friends met talking about our career that turned into, hey, you love concerts too? Let's go to concerts together. And I'll throw Nicole in the car. I've accidentally locked her in the car too, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yes, I remember that one. Hello. Knock, knock, knock on the window.
Oh, we forgot Nicole. Oh my gosh. Oh, memories, people, memories. All right. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and tie it up in a bow here and end this episode. So, what do you want to say, Nicole, to all the people out there?
Kiff and giggles are out. We'll see you at the next concert.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you at the next concert. And Nicole came up with the line, we'll see you in a concert pit near you. You all have a good day.
See ya.
Bye.